1111 portal, and we're going to get messages about soul alignment and how you can access this energy. Hi y'all, welcome back for another channeled messages for what Spirit wants you to know right now. If you're new, I'm Lady Leo, your cosmic bestie, your mystical intuitive, your spiritual hype woman, and we're going to dive into the energies. Be sure to hit the like button so that you can dive in with me. But first, we're going to cleanse and set the space. Call in Spirit. All right. Hi y'all, how you doing? Hi Wally. Hi Tess. Manuel, Baby Girl, Patriot, Jeff, Natani. What's going on, y'all? Welcome. I've got my Dragon's Blood Sage. We're going to cleanse real good. Then we're going to protect with some Palo Santo. Hi, thinking about Hana. What's going on? Welcome, y'all. By the way, just to let you know, everything that I do is infused with Holy Fire Reiki. If that's something that you want, you just say, Spirit, I'm open and willing to receive. If not, Spirit, I respectfully decline. It's not a big deal. Hi, Angela. How you doing, Angela? Hi, Marcia. What's going on, y'all? Welcome. All right. There we go. We got a good burn. Not a whole lot of resistance. I like to see that. Hi, Nisha, Viv. Fun size. Hi, Dion. Cleanse your energy. Good juju for you. Cleanse my energy. Good juju for me. All right. Let's protect real quick before we hop into this. Y'all know I love my Palo Santo. Can't go without it. Hi, Jessie. Hi, Lorena. Paula. What's going on, y'all? I do have personal readings open. If y'all are interested, that'll be after collective channeled messages. It's currently 4 people in line. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal at Lady Leo Spiritual. $11 for a mini, $22 for career, $33 for love, $44 for extended. All right. Protect your energy. Protect my energy. All right. Let's call in Spirit together. Here we go. Y'all ready? God, Source, Universe, angels, ancestors, spirit guides, council of light, ascended masters, and all other benevolent beings of light of the third heaven and higher. I ask that you shield us in a holy, divine, white light of protection. Shield our space, our energy, and the stream from any outside negative energies, entities, and it is not allowed here. Spirit, I ask that you aid, guide, and support me, channeling the best and highest message for the collective during this time meant to be. Thank you, Spirit. All right, y'all, here we go. Hey, Mary Helen. Hi, Maggie, Browns, Songs, Rain. Hi, Tachuela. What's going on, y'all? Hey, thanks for all the love and send all that love and light back to you times 10. Thank you for helping me raise the vibration. All right, y'all. So we are talking about the 1111 portal. This one is a big one. If you want access to my soul alignment activation for this 1111 portal, right now I can only get it uploaded to TikTok, so it's already there. All you have to do is subscribe and become a super fan. I'm still working on getting a version uploaded to Instagram, and YouTube's giving me problems too. So there you go. You know, they say if you're doing something right and you're on the right path, there's going to be the other side of the fence trying to keep you from getting to it, right? All right, y'all. Let's see what we got going on here. Hi, Lady Leo. I hope that you and your kids are okay. Yes, we're doing great. Thank you so much for that, Tachuela. I appreciate that. Good morning, y'all. Hi, Steven. What's going on? All right, Spirit. Best and highest messages here for the collective. These are just quick, simple, to the point. That's what we're going to start off with. Y'all seem to be like it when I read this way, this format. So we're going to keep with it. All right, Spirit. Best and highest messages here. What do we need to know? What do we need to see? What do we need to hear about this 1111 portal? Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. Send all that love and light back to you times 10. Dang, they're flying out. 777. Ooh, someone's getting ready to have a spiritual jackpot this portal. Send all that love and light back to you times 10. Thank y'all for being here. Okay, what we got, Spirit? New moon in Aquarius, open up to change. So open to change. Your dreams need a practical plan. Balance spirituality and practicality. Take inspired action. Trust the universe. Trust all will be well. That's twice this trust energies come out. Adjustments are required. And know your worth. Okay, so I'm going to read it back, and then we're going to get a couple words from this deck, okay? So open up to change. Your dreams need a practical plan. Balance spirituality and practicality. Take inspired action. Trust the universe. Trust all will be well. Adjustments are required. Know your worth. Those are big ones. Big one on the trust. Also with the balance as well. You know, actually right now, astrologically speaking, we've got some crazy stuff going on at the time this is being recorded. Mercury is officially retrograde. We've got stuff coming back from the past. We also have a transit where Venus is squaring Pluto. We kind of experienced that the first 2 weeks of June. So we are revisiting something that may have had something to do with the first 2 weeks in June, these first couple weeks in November. Okay, there's a lot about taking inspired action, being open to change, being open and willing to change. Okay, adjustments are required in this energy. It's very important for you to know your value, know your worth. All right, best and highest message here, Spirit. Tell me about this. Tell me about this. Hi, Sonali. How you doing, sweetheart? Hi, Anna. Hey, we got VIP in the chat. What's going on? Royal Star fam. Thank y'all for being here. I'm so grateful for you. Okay, we have stillness. I talked about this in the soul alignment activation for exclusive members, about how important stillness is when we are aligning ourselves. What else is here, Spirit? Give me some more. Heavy on the Aquarius energy, double on that. So this has a lot to do with transformation, evolution, miracles happening, shakeups. Shakeups in the best way. Shakeups that are needed. What else is here, Spirit? Your dreams need a practical plan. What we got? Hi, Des. Hey, Queen. I hope you're doing well. Thank you. I hope you're doing well, too. Thank you for being here, Des. Hi, fams. Kathy. Welcome. Y'all, they having to filter out comments already. We just getting this started. Are you serious? We got people being naughty in the chat already. Y'all know the rules. You don't respect my chat, or don't disrespect my chat. Don't disrespect my tribe. Don't disrespect me. There's no need for all that. Okay? Protect and believe. You need to protect what it is that you believe in. Okay? Your dreams need a practical plan. Protect what it is that you believe. So there's a need to be a lot about this practicality, balancing spirituality and practicality. You know, it is important for you to be 1 foot in, 1 foot out in a way when we're talking about these things, right? We have to be here in the physical. So we can be too dreamy, we can be too up in the cosmos at times. It is important for us to be grounded, especially with these energies. It is not too late to get a personal if you want to get in line, sweetheart. Hi, Ethan. How you doing, love? Nisha, I just got your payment for a love reading. Thank you for that, sweetheart. You're number 5. All right, tell me about balance and spiritual practicality. Woo, that flew out right there. Your intentions. Your intentions are very important when we're balancing out spirituality and practicality. All right, tell me about take inspired action. This is collective, Damini, for now. All right, what else is here? Happy 11/11. Energy and courage. Take inspired action. Yeah. You need to be in the energy of having courage and bravery, patience. And you know what? When we're trying to manifest our heart's desires, when we're getting in alignment with the soul purpose, when we're really diving deep for things like that, it is important for us to have courage. You know? Think about all the people who are still sleeping. Took us a lot of courage to even open up to the idea that these things exist, right? To think higher. As above, so below. As within, so without. All right, tell me about trust the universe. God, source, universe, whatever that looks like for you. I got it, Des. Thank you so much, sweetheart. So we have Bethany, Jennifer, Trisha, Ethan, Nisha, and Des all in line for personals. Okay, tell me about trust the universe. Trick. Don't get caught up in tricks and conformity, okay? Sometimes 3-3. Dang, y'all. Thanks for the love. All that love and light back to you times 10. Happy 11/11. So yeah, we can get caught up in conforming to other people's belief systems, their criticisms, right? The naysaying. So don't get tricked out of your spot. Trust the universe. Trust what you know. Okay? Trust what it is that you believe in. All right, tell me about trust. All will be well. Instinct. Listen to your instinct. Y'all are so incredibly intuitive as it is. But most of y'all don't really need me for this shit. Y'all know already. I'm just here to confirm the shit that you already know. Y'all, I say that every single live stream. So listen to your instincts, right? We're not getting caught up in that emotion, okay? Right? Where we get scared or we doubt. We're not getting caught up in the headspace where we're overthinking things. This comes from the gut. This is instinct. We're born with that. All right, Spirit. Tell me about adjustments are required. Best and highest messages here. Rebirth. Yes, we are going through major rebirth cycles during this time on different aspects, okay? This is shedding the old versions of ourselves. The old versions of ourselves that aren't in this soul alignment for the things that it is that we're trying to manifest, okay? I'll take that back. Not trying to manifest, that we are going to manifest. It's already happening. That's one of the biggest messages, downloads that I got, that this is this 1111 portal mixed in with the time that we're in right now, the time that we're experiencing here on this earthly realm. You're having the biggest breakthroughs that you've ever had before, especially if you've already been doing the work, you know, if you've already been working on that alignment. All right, tell me about know your worth. About know your worth. Just left a 5-year relationship on 11/11. It was so hard. Just was tired of constant disrespect. We're going to talk about that in just a second. Let me get this clarifier out. Hi, Miss Joe. Hi, Tabitha. Thank you for that comment, Nadi. Hi, Jingar. Rest. It's okay to rest sometimes. You know, we talked a lot about that last live. We can get so caught up in our worth being tied to our productivity. You know, I've had a big obstacle with that, especially on my journey, right? It's especially after, let's see, I moved back home at the time. It's supposed to be my soon to be ex-husband, but y'all, we won't get into all that. But he was in the military. He just got out of the military, and we had to move back in with my parents. And I had a hobby for crocheting. Let's see, with me getting pregnant with my firstborn son. And then, let's see, I had a daughter, right? I got pregnant with my daughter. I got really into tutus, making bows and things like that. But I had to turn my hobby into a business, you know? And I got stuck on doing that. My worth got tied to my productivity. And that was something that was really challenging for me to overcome. And even still now, I still have I have problems with that. You know, I can't seem to justify just sitting down and enjoying something just because I like to do it, just because I get fulfillment out of it. You know, I have to make it like a side hustle, right? So remember, know your worth, that your worth is not tied to any type of productivity, okay? Give me one more. Give me one more. That's the highest messages. Hey, VIP in the chat. How y'all doing, Royal Star family? We have strength and wisdom. You find your greatest strength in the wisdom that it is that you already have. This isn't necessarily, this is knowledge that it is that you remember in a way, okay? This is something that's passed through blood and through bone, right? So it's also the wisdom that it is that you've gained from the experiences that you've already had, okay? All right. Where else? We're going to pull from the Starseed and Work Your Light deck I have mixed here from Rebecca Campbell. Also, I was going to talk about this comment that Noni left. Okay, so just left a 5-year relationship on 11/11. Was so hard, just was tired of the constant disrespect. Y'all, we are ending major cycles during this time, especially within relationships. We talked a lot about that during Libra season. You know, these are long-term connections, not necessarily romantic, but a lot of it, for a lot of us, it is. This is where we're understanding, we're understanding that it's just not for us anymore. You know, it's like we're sick of putting up with things that we wouldn't put up with if it wasn't if our heart, if our emotions weren't involved, you know, it's like writing it down on a piece of paper and look at it from a logical standpoint and really seeing like, wow, this isn't something that it is that I feel is for my most loving and highest good. I have to walk away from it. It's time for me to cut cords here, you know, especially during this Mercury retrograde. We're having things being brought up to be revisited, to be realigned, to be, you know, refocused. Is this on my path? Is this best for me? Am I even bringing any value and worth to this person's life, right? Is it equal give and take? And a lot of us, when we're realizing that it's not, we have that understanding. It's time to just let it go. It's time to move on into something, a new chapter. That's something else that we've talked a lot about too. You are the author of your own story, and you can write it to be whatever it is that you want. So a lot of us are learning how to take that pen back and not let other people control the narrative of how our life is supposed to look like, especially with these strong emotional ties to these connections, whether that be a romantic partner, a family member, you know, whatever have you. All right, best and highest message here. What else do we need to know? Yours just cheated on you officially tonight? Ooh, I'm so sorry. That's terrible. You have to, here, let me just tell you this. And this is easy for me to sit here and say, but this is hitting close to home for me because I'm speaking from experience. The people that it is that are cheating on y'all has nothing to do with you. Okay? It's not the way that you look. It has nothing to do with your intelligence. Okay? It has nothing to do with what it is that you bring to the table. It has everything to do with them and that need for external validation. Okay? These people are addicted to that. Does that make sense? They have a hole in their cup. It doesn't matter how much time, love, energy, effort, and money that you were to pour into somebody like that. It's never going to be enough. They will never be satiated, you know. So with that, but that doesn't make it any better in the moment. I know that it doesn't. But in time, you're going to hear me. You're going to hear me. 6 years. Mine was 20. I'm so sorry. It hurts. It hurts. Hi, Dirty D. Ruffin. How you doing? Hi, Kavithra. What's going on? 32 years? Wow. All right, Spirit. Hi, Divining Phoenix. How you doing? Kitty, Earth Angel, Carol. All right, Spirit. Hi, Classy. Hi, Crocodile. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Let me stay on top of this 1111 portal, and we'll talk a little bit more about relationships in a minute, okay? Let me stay focused. My ADHD is kicking in. This is collective, yes. All right. You got the love, Hadarian energy, codependency, and boundaries. Yeah. This is where, when we're getting into soul alignment and we're tapping into our soul purpose, we do have to have more love for self, okay? And we're taught in a lot of ways that that's selfish, but really it's not. Boundaries is something that we're not taught to have, especially growing up, right? We're not taught to have strong boundaries. We're taught to be people pleasers. We're taught to fall in line. We're taught to follow. Okay? So, and there is these codependent toxic behaviors and attachment styles. Like these are also things that are programmed. And these are things that are passed down to us very early. And they're very difficult to break and recognize. You know, so that's all part of the spiritual awakening process, is learning about that. So yes, you got the love, codependency, and boundaries. What else came out? You're not alone. Isolation, physical connection, and community. There's another way where we're being asked to balance the spirituality and practicality. You know, spirituality, when we're going through spiritual awakenings, we can get very isolated. We isolate a lot, right? We're going within. We're doing some soul searching. We're getting back in tune with what it is that we want, we feel, what we feel is in alignment, what we desire, those sorts of things, you know? So we do kind of, especially if you come from a background like me, right? I'm in Mississippi, y'all. This is the Bible Belt. So when I was having my spiritual awakening, I was, you know, so excited. I was trying to tell anybody and everybody that I could just get in front of about what it was I was experiencing. That wasn't the best idea. You know, I got condemned to hell for all of eternity many times over. So I got to the point where I isolated myself, and I had to go to Spirit. So it's not that there was a blessed in the lesson, as in I didn't need any external validation. It really did push me into the darkness so that I could find my own light, so I could build a stronger connection to spirit, to my guides, my ancestors, those sorts of energies, to my own divinity. But I also had a need for a community as well. And that's exactly where it is. I get fulfillment from right here, spending time with y'all. This is my community. It inspired me to build my own so that we could come together and share these experiences and help us through these hardships that it is that we go through. What else is here, Spirit? So you may feel a need after a time of isolation to get back out there and find people in the physical that it is that you can connect to, people that you're in alignment with. And that won't just be anybody, right? Because we've talked a lot about that lately too, is that you may have a lot of people that surround you, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they support you, right? Star bathing, light body, crystal grid transformation, activation. Yes, we're having these transmissions so that we can be activated. Give me a few more. Best and highest messages here. Hi, y'all. How you doing? Welcome. Thank y'all so much for being here. Thanks for the loves and all that love and light back to you times 10. By the way, if you're just popping in and you have to leave, the replay will be posted to YouTube as soon as I can get it uploaded. Y'all want to go subscribe to me over there. And if you're wanting a soul activation or soul alignment activation that's guided, is 10 steps to how to do that, to guide you through that, you can subscribe to me here on TikTok to my super fans. Dance with life. Do something to change your energy. Thank you so much for the roses, Michael. I appreciate that. Hey, thanks for the love, Instagram. I see you. Do something to change your energy. So dance with life. Anytime that you feel stuck and stagnant, you ever felt like that? Like it's just hard for you to get up and get going. It's hard for you to get motivated. It's hard for you to get inspired. The best thing to do is literally get up and start moving. Find your favorite jam and throw it on and just dance like nobody's watching. Go for a walk. Go for a drive. Go window shopping. Go do something that's going to help inspire you. And that's definitely going to shift you out of that stagnant, stuck energy that it is that you may be feeling. All right, Spirit, what else is here? He says, sis, how you been though? I've been making it, Dirty D. Reppin'. How you been doing? Hi, Morpho77. Hi, Patty. What's going on, y'all? Thank you so much for the badges. I appreciate that. Hi, Z-Man Project. Richard, how you doing, Richard? Welcome back. Sarah, The Real Michael, LT Homemaker. Thank you for the repost, sweetheart. Psychic Blair. Welcome, y'all. Thank you for being here. Carlita, how you doing, Carlita? All right, Spirit, give me just a few more from this deck, and then we'll move into the tarot. What we got going on here? Best and highest messages. You're already doing it. Stop overthinking. Keep facing your true north. You are exactly where you're meant to be when you're meant to be there. You're already facing your true north, especially if you happen upon me. If I resonate, if you feel like you're a part of this community, you're already on the path to where it is that you're supposed to be doing. You got to have patience with it. It doesn't just show up overnight. Plus, if it did, what was the purpose of it even having this human experience in the first place? It's a journey. We're meant to experience all of it. The good, the bad, the beautiful, and the ugly. Take a break. A life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. A lot of messages here about trust. Trusting in what it is that's coming to you. It's almost like saying a prayer and trusting that God, source, universe, whatever that looks like for you's got you. That it's already on the way. Just because the love for you, does that make sense? That you're worthy of it. And then there's a lot of messages here about resting. Knowing your worth and taking a break, resting, okay? Your worth is not tied to your productivity. It's okay for you to go take that nap. It's okay to take a back seat for a minute. It's okay to maybe cut a couple hours from work so that you can get the rest that you need, so you can rejuvenate, recharge your batteries, especially workaholics out there. And it is. We're entering into the holiday season. A lot of us are being workaholics, So, trying to get the bag. Sometimes the best way to manifest things is releasing the need to control. So you being in that go, grind, and hustle mode constantly is actually blocking some of your blessings. You know, you're putting all this money and this focus on the money that you don't have. So it's blocking blessings, not just financially or monetarily, but also in a spiritual sense. Trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? So those of you that are feeling lost, you're having a hard time getting started with some sort of project or something that you want to get off the ground. Some of y'all, new career, okay, especially during spiritual awakening, there's a lot of career shifts. There's a lot of this awakening to like, I'm not happy here. I'm not happy doing this. I'm not getting fulfillment from this, you know? So if that's you, trust your path. If you knew that you would be supported, that you would overcome every obstacle, that you would overcome every challenge that you would face, what would you be doing? Not that the hardship wouldn't be there. If you knew that you were going to get through it, that you were going to make it to the finish line, no matter what, come hell or high water, what would that look like? Keepers of the earth, you are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. This is one of my favorite cards in this deck. You are never alone. That was something that was a big learning experience for me on my first phase of spiritual awakening, right? I told y'all that I was getting more in alignment with my own spirituality, with God, source, universe, with spirit, just in general. You know, I learned that I didn't stand alone. I got pushed. I didn't have any physical friends here in the 3D. All my friends became my ancestors, my spirit guides, spirit. And it does. It makes me feel more supported, more at home, even though I don't even feel like I have a physical home here in the 3D. And Rama, where are you being called to journey to? A lot about listening about where you're being called to. I know most of y'all have kids. And if you don't have kids, I know that you've at least heard of Frozen 2, from the Frozen movies. But in the second movie, Frozen 2, Elsa starts hearing like a spirit, like a voice that calls to her, you know, and it gets so annoying and so nagging that she cannot help herself but to go figure out what the hell this voice is that's calling to her. It's a lot like that. You know, what is that nudging feeling that it is that you're getting, or that call? You feel that call. What is that for you? If you don't know, maybe it's time to explore it. Just a little bit. Give yourself permission to explore. And Rama is, it's Celtic, actually, for the soul's journey. And that's what we're all here for. That's what we're all in this earthly realm about, right? We're all spiritual beings having we're all spiritual beings having human experiences. All right, Spirit. Forge, don't follow. Pave a new path. Be the leader that you wish you had. Yes. I said that earlier. More confirmation there. We are taught to follow, to be in line, to get in line, to be people pleasers, to sacrifice our own wants, our own needs, our own emotions. You know, especially if you grow up in a household where, you know, children are meant to be seen, not heard. Or most of our parents were raised that way, you know, the generations before us. You know, you weren't allowed to show emotions. Like I shared with y'all the other day. I was walking to my car, leaving the store, and there was this, you know, grown-ass man. He was putting his toddlers in the car, maybe 3 and 4 years old. He had gotten frustrated, and he's sitting there trying to buckle them in, and he is yelling at them at the top of his lungs. This man's angry, right? And I'm sitting there thinking, you know, he can't even regulate his own emotions. How in the hell does he expect this 3 and 4-year-old to be able to comprehend how to regulate their own emotions, you know? So we're taught this very early, this, you know, fall in line, sacrifice our own needs, especially when it comes to like emotional needs. So be the leader that you wish that you had. You know, you don't have to conform to those ways. And I feel like a lot of us, it speaks to us on a very deep level, right? Especially if you are a parent, or you can just kind of think of it in those terms. Do you really think your parent got enjoyment out of disciplining you in that way? Do you really think that they were happy to do that? And, you know, I used to get popped. I used to get, y'all have to pick your own switch, or hear of other people going to pick their own switch? Do you think that your grandparents, your parents really enjoyed telling you to go get that switch? You have to disconnect emotionally to be able to discipline your children that way. So anyway, just to go back to that, be the leader that you wish that you had. You know, forge your own way. It's okay for you to carve your own path. Y'all hear me also talk a lot about Forrest Gump. Most of us didn't ask to be the leader, you know. It just happened. It's just by default. Who else is going to do it? You just got to step up and, you know, take initiative, right? So don't be afraid to do that if you feel called to start just going, right? Like Forrest Gump just ran, and before you knew it, he turned around, there was a whole mob behind him, and they were running with him. So it's okay for you to pave a new path. Give me just a few more from this deck, Spirit. I like where this is going. 1111. What we need to know, what we need to see, what do we need to hear? Yes, transformation. Things are changing at a cellular level. Deep healing. This is metaphysics. Hey, thank you. Send all that love and light back to you times 10. Thank you for helping me raise the vibration. Thank you for being here. So this is something that we learned too. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of Joe Dispenza, but thoughts are energy. And emotions can get trapped in the body, and that actually can cause certain types of diseases. Like grief can literally cause lung cancer. You know, certain type of stresses can cause, you know, things like heart attacks, right? So things are changing at a cellular level. When you start learning these emotional ways of healing, of, you know, the art of detachment, how to relieve stress, those sorts of things, you're literally changing your cells. And you can do that by intentionally sending energy to the body. Think about, your body doesn't even need you to do anything to heal. If you get a cut, you break a bone, naturally your body starts healing. But think about if you were to use more than 10% of your brain and actually have intended focused energy sent to your cells. Y'all may want to check out Joe Dispenza on that one. The crumbling, what are you clinging on to? Look at this. These are the things that we end up clinging on to. It's dead, it's decay, it's no longer serving us, it's not a strong foundation, but we cling on to it because it's familiar. We know what we're getting with this, at least. You know, it's hard to let go and just let all of this fall away and to crumble, right? But look at what happens when you do. There's light at the end of this. You know, there's a lot of fertility and growth that can be had. There's, you know, see the storm here, right here? On the other side of things, it's clearer. Does that make sense? So what are you clinging on to? What do you need to let go of? Just because it's familiar. Just because you know what it is that you're already getting. And a lot of us get stuck in relationships and connections just because at least it's familiar. At least, you know, it's a little bit scary to let go of this toxic something and take this journey into this new path, this new chapter with new sets of people, new connections, whether that's romantic, family, career, right, friends, because at least we already know the enemy that we have next to us, you know, the demons that it is that we're already fighting, if you will. Council of Light, divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realms. There's a lot here. Look at this alignment, these little dots right there, how you're in alignment with your own divinity. So you have divine orchestration, right? So all in divine timing. You have helpers here. More confirmation, leap. You go first, the universe will catch you. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink from it, you know? Spirit's really urging someone to take this leap, to go for it, you know, to take this risk. Look at this too. Look how, you see, I was just talking about, like, we cling on to the familiarity of things, even when it's toxic, even when it's not for our most love and highest good, because at least we know what we're getting. That can literally drain you dry. Spiritually, financially, emotionally, mentally, physically, right? Take a leap. Take this risk. It's okay to play a little bit. It's okay to believe. It's okay to dream. Miracles do happen every single day. And this is my favorite card. This is what got me really wanting to read cards in the first place, y'all, is this deck, this card. The ever unfolding rose. Cracked open is happening for you, not to you. This is another really big message here. This was big in my spiritual awakening, in my journey, just experiencing life in general. Sometimes we are pushed into the dark, right? That's what I was telling y'all. I was pushed into the dark so I could find my own light, so I could carve my own ways. Sometimes things get so challenging and there's just so much conflict, so much chaos that we're forced to make a change. It suffocates us to the point where it's like we can't breathe here anymore, you know, and it puts you in certain positions where you have to make a change, you have to move, you have to shift. So remember, a lot of times these hardships that you're going through and you're scared to take a leap of faith, to make changes, to let go, to let it all crumble, it's happening for you. It's not necessarily happening to you. That can bring a lot of clarity and insight as well. All right. Hi, Jason. Hi, Jill. Thank y'all for the roses. Thank you for the gifts. Thank y'all for sharing the live. Thanks for being here. They taught us how to compartmentalize because that's how they manage. That's true. And look, that was something that it was. I got into a conversation with someone else just the other day. You know, we were talking about how, you know, spare the rod, spoil the child, right? And everybody took that, or somebody somewhere took that as beat your child, or you spoil them. And that's not what that meant at all. The staff and the rod actually represented guidance and strength and faith. You know, it had nothing to do with beating anybody. Does that make sense? Even on the Hermit card and Tarot, right? You've got the Hermit there, and he's holding the staff, and he's got the lantern, you know. And I always say, you know, as I walk through the shadow of the valley of death, I fear no evil, right? But that staff is there for guidance. It has nothing to do with popping anybody or beating anybody. But that's how we were taught. That's how, you know, those were passed down, is because it's what they knew. All right. We'll hop into the tarot, y'all. What's going on? May I ask a question? Hi, Sheena. Of course you can ask a question. I might just have an answer for you. Hi, Father Ella. How you doing, sweetheart? Hi, Next Official. Deidre, thank you for the little heart puff. And the glitter badge. Hi, Gigi. Thank you for reposting. They already mine, not chasing anything, already have it all. That's true, y'all. That's where something else we have to learn is stop chasing shit. There's no reason for you to chase shit. You attract it to you. When you start chasing it, it actually, think about polarity. When you start chasing it, what happens when something starts chasing something? The other thing's running. So if you're chasing something, you're actually resisting it. So you're actually pushing it further away from you. So there is that need to let go of needing to control the outcome of things, you know. Trust, know that it's coming to you. You will attract it. It's that mindset. It's all about the metaphysics and law of attraction, law of assumption, law of balance, right? Laws of the universe. You're just about to go to sleep. Thank you for being here. Yes. Yeah. LT Homemaker. That's exactly where I was going with that. Sheena, I don't answer questions about pregnancies. I don't do that. You know, that's something that you need to see a doctor for. I'm not legally able to give any type of advice. Medically, I'm not able to talk about any type of advice. And just with pregnancies in general, I have miscarried before. You know, that's something that hits really close to home to me. So that's just not something that I touch, love. I'm sure other readers do. Just me, I don't. That's just not. Okay. All right, y'all. Where are we going with this tarot? Which deck are we going to use? I'm going to let y'all decide. We can either we'll probably pull from both, but we'll see which one we want to start off with. All right, I've got this Golden Light Nouveau Tarot. It's more traditional. Or we can start off with the Light Seers, my OG deck. Y'all can tell how dirty and all the sage has been through. I've had this deck for 6 years, y'all. So you let me know. Light Seers or Golden Nouveau? The OG deck. Okay. Anybody else want to vote? Light Seer? Golden? OG deck? It's seasoned. Okay. We'll start off with this one, and then we need to pull from another deck. We'll do this one. This one's almost just as old. This one's about 5 years old, but this one's my main deck. All right, Spirit, best and highest messages for us. What do we need to know? What do we need to see? What do Light Seers? All right. Hey, 7.7K likes. I told you to keep seeing sevens. Lots of twos, lots of sevens, and we know we're seeing a shit ton of 11. Send all that love and light back to you, Thompson. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you for helping me raise the vibration. Thanks for being a part of this community. All right, Spirit, best and highest messages. Oh, we got Temperance wanting to come out. Here we go again with this balance, this Temperance. Forgiving yourself, forgiving others, having grace, giving yourself some grace. Right. Ooh, fire. I see the fire over here. Y'all lighting it up. All right, Spirit. What's the collective's energy? What's the collective's energy? The 9 of Wands. Holy shenanes. Yeah. exhausted, beaten, battered. You've been bruised, you've been beat up by life, kicked when you've been down. How many times? But here you go again, standing strong. Right? Look how beat up this chick is. She's got cuts in her shirt. You know, she's bruised up on her face. She's got cuts on her face. You know, she may be bleeding a little bit here. But you're coming up over the hill winning the war. This is about perseverance, resilience, not giving up. Maybe you had to sit down for a second and take a rest, right? But you didn't let it stop you. You got back up and kept on going. Or that's what you're doing right now once again. Can't stop, won't stop. All right, Spirit, what else is here? What's the collective's energy? I feel that. And getting really focused on your own self-development, a project, a career. Get super laser focused on something. You're really being very intentional about what it is that you are doing, what you're focused on. 8 of Pentacles. Give me one more. What's the collective's energy? How you doing? Welcome. Thank y'all for following. By the way, those of you that are just popping in, I have an exclusive subscribers only soul alignment activation, 10 steps to help you get into soul alignment if you feel like you need guidance with that. So all you got to do is join subscribers on TikTok, become a super fan, and it's already posted, it's already available for you. All right, Spirit. One more. Temperance came out of the deck. So yeah, we saw it. I didn't even ask a question yet. It was trying to come out, and it is now out on the table. The 6 of Cups and the Sun also came out with that. Okay. So here we are balancing. Dark and light. Okay. Light as in masculine energy. Dark as in feminine energy, or negative and positive, yin and yang. It's also my St. Michael card. Okay, so know that you're being protected. St. Michael in all 4 corners, or whatever your equivalent to St. Michael is, okay? But we're balancing this, where we're learning how to heal. Temperance speaks a lot about healing, okay? Some of y'all have even started therapy, okay? Whether that's actual, you know, like therapy with another therapist. Some of y'all have started like a healing work, energy work, those sorts of things. A lot of y'all are even becoming your own healers, you know? Some of y'all have started businesses doing that. And if not, that's okay. That's not meant for everybody. It's not everybody's path. But whatever it is that you're at, wherever it is that you're at on your journey, know that you're finally finding this balance. You're finding patience, right? Especially when we see this. Okay, something really tested your patience at one point in time. And now here it is, you're coming into more of an energy of being at peace, of this healing energy. This has things to do with the past, okay? We talked a lot about this childhood stuff, being programmed, these being taught these things very early on. So there may be a lot of nostalgia during this time as well. You know, like I said, we hope of what? Venus is squaring Pluto. And those have a lot to, like, Pluto transits can be really heavy just because it talks about what needs to be changed. It's about transformation. You know, it can be very... scorpionic energy, right? That death and rebirth, you know, the endings of things, letting go of things, things closing out. And that can be challenging, but it's bringing a lot of clarity and a lot more joy and happiness here. Like, look, you're up here basking in the sun, happy as a lark. And it's because you're choosing to get focused on whatever it is that you're healing within you. Okay. Oh, you hear the cats. The cats are getting stirred up, y'all. All right, Spirit. Best and highest messages here. What do we need to know? What do we need to see? What do we need to hear? Hi, Baked Potato. What's going on, Baked Taters? Hi, Kamala. Hi, Noah. All right, Spirit. What do we need to know? What do we need to see? What do we need to hear? What's the situation? Hi, Terry. What's going on, Terry? These God laws. Thank you for liking the live. 3 of Cups. Some of y'all are getting out and about. Some of you are coming out of hermit mode, actually. So if you've been in a time of isolation, the situation is you could be, you know, putting yourself out there, celebrating. You're being celebrated, especially during the season that it is that we're in. A lot about coming into union, a lot about celebrating. Tell me about 3 of Cups. Why is this the situation? Justice, the Ace of Pentacles. 5 of Pentacles in reverse. Oh, that's beautiful. Wow. Know your value, know your worth. Looky there. So we talked about releasing karmic cycles, okay? And as we're releasing these karmic cycles, that it seems that we've been on loop, right? It's just same shit, different day, you know? This is, we're cutting cords with those things, okay? There's a lot of this balanced energy coming through as well, with this being the scales, Libran energy. Okay, things are being put back in law and order. Universe likes balance. It doesn't like too much of one or the other. It can get too turbulent, too chaotic, and sometimes that happens, but it always balances back out. There's things being exposed, truths come into light. You maybe even be expressing yourself in a certain way, especially in relationships during this time. But look, somebody's having some sort of karmic justice as well. Okay, so here comes just karmic payout or dharma. However it is that you say it, however it is that you want to look at it. But look, this is a blessing. This is something that you've manifested. You've asked for this. This is God, source, universe, whatever that looks like for you. The hands of the divine giving you this blessing, this opportunity, this abundance. And look, this seed already has roots coming out of it. All you got to do, boo-boo, is just drop it in the soil. And you just wait, right? Patience. But it's already on the way. And we talked a lot about that because you know your value, you know your worth. Okay, we're healing a lot of like this trust and abandonment issues. There's a lot of this confidence and self-esteem that it is that you're building within yourself too, right? With the sun showing up here like that. All right, Spirit. Best and highest messages. All right, Deja Vu Divination. Thank you, sweetheart. You are so gifted. You're truly spot on every time. Part of it is really being spiritually gifted. Another part of it is being in alignment with my guides. I pray before I go live every time. I ask for y'all to find me if y'all need a message, and for me to give the messages that it is that y'all need. Right? Beginning of the live. Spirit, I ask that you aid, guide, and support me in channeling the best and highest messages for the collective during this time. All right, Spirit, what's the challenge? I hope to inspire you to be able to do that for yourself. Right, y'all are already incredibly intuitive. Y'all hear me say that. I'm just confirming the shit that you already know. 7 of Cups. The challenge are distractions, okay? Distractions, maybe even feeling like really emotionally overwhelmed with things. Y'all, that happens when we have these transits that talk about like this deep psyche stuff coming to the surface. You know, these things that we're becoming consciously aware of that have been subconscious, especially programs that we've been running on. It can be extremely emotionally overwhelming. So again, there's a need to have patience, have courage, you know. If you're having troubles with it, if you're having setbacks, you keep feeling like you're hitting blocks, you know, give yourself some grace and understand that these things weren't learned in a day. It took time, you know, it was programmed. It was almost like a trained, you know, so you're having to untrain yourself or train yourself to do new things. That takes a lot of mental capacity. It can be very exhausting. You can feel mentally, emotionally beat up. Tell me about the 7 of Cups. Why is this a challenge? I'm truly gifted as well. I just care a lot about what people think about me, and it blocks me. Oh, yes, y'all. We get caught up with that so much. You know, everybody else's opinions, and, you know, not necessarily like to think of it as like juvenile, like peer pressure, but it is really heavy. It can be very similar to that, you know, these criticisms or just having to hear it, or, you know, the, like not getting the validation that it is that we seek, right? Because, I mean, we're all human. It's nice to get validation. It's nice to get compliments and support, you know. So it can be very painful emotionally. And emotional scars are the ones that we can't see with the physical eye. So a lot of times it's overlooked, it's unrecognized, it's unacknowledged, whether from self or others. It's like we can't justify someone hurting. Like, you ever heard like people who have been depressed? They say, you'll hear somebody else, have you ever tried not being depressed? Don't you think depressed people have already tried that? They don't want to be depressed. It's not just a switch you can flip on and off. It don't work like that. That's some of the worst advice anybody can give. Have you ever tried not being depressed? Well, yeah. Duh. You know? All right, Spirit. Best and highest message. It takes work. It takes a lot of effort. And most people, we're not taught how to do those things. You know, it's not just a fix-it pill that we take. You got to do the inner work. You got to learn. what's making you depressed in the first place, right? That's where some of that cognitive behavior, I'm not a doctor, please do your own research. Okay. But that's where some of that cognitive behavioral therapy comes from, right? Where you reverse engineer where it is your thoughts and feelings are even stemming from. All right, Spirit, tell me about the Seven of Cups. Why is this the challenge? The Chariot, because it's time for you to move forward. Someone's scared to take this action, you know, but know that it's okay for you to get up, dust yourself off, and make the decision. You see these two different, this is about choices, polarity, duality, right? You're making the choice to get up and go anyway. You can either choose to lay down and give up and just do the same old, or you could choose to get up, to rise, and to keep it moving, right? That's what it is that you're doing. You're being challenged a little bit. Being challenged is a little bit uncomfortable. But to get to where it is that you want to go, right, or the promised lands, if you will, right, it's got to get a little bit down to dirty. You got to get a little uncomfortable. It's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it in the first place. All right. Hi, how you doing? Welcome. Hi, Shand. How you doing, Shand? From India. Thank you, love. Hey, hi G. Hey, big hunk. How you doing? Thank you for that. I'm sending a little light back to you, Tom's 10. The groovy girl. Should I go back to working for my dad? Do you want to get in line for a personal reading? Gratitude is underrated and underutilized. I agree with that. Y'all, gratitude is so incredibly powerful. You know, that's where manifestation takes place in the first place, right? It comes from heart energy, abundance, right? The green chakra. It's about gratitude. Love, having a grateful heart. Deja vu divinations. Oh, you're so wise in your eyes. I think I found my divine goddess crush. Oh my gosh, quit. Y'all, I'm Leo. You can't tell me shit like that. My head's gonna swell. I'm gonna float off. I'm gonna get star student syndrome. You can't be saying to me. You can't be talking to me like that here. I'm just kidding. All right, Spirit. Best and highest message here. I don't have a place I want to go. I like living in the present. That's good. I have trouble with living in the present moment. I get way too caught up in the future. The past, yeah, the past creeps up from time to time, but my problem is being in the future. I need to anchor into, I have to constantly keep myself grounded or be consciously aware of that. All right. If you want to get in line for a personal reading, love, you can. All right. As it should with your fun ass, love me, stop it. Don't be doing that. Gratitude is payment for the present, yes. You go back and forth too, yeah. Hi y'all, how you doing? Welcome, thank y'all for being here. All right, Spirit, best and highest messages. What's in the current energy for the collective? Walk on grass, yes. If I do it for you, I have to do it for everybody else. And we have people in line for personal readings that have paid. 6 people, actually. 5 of Swords, you need to get out of your head. Gotta get out of your head. Sometimes we just need reminders of these things, right? When you're going through the shuffle and buffle of life, when you're going through the obstacles, when you're fighting the damn battle, you know, sometimes we have to just be reminded that we got to get out of our own head. That we've been thinking way too much on something, you know. You're starting to feel defeated when really you haven't been defeated yet. You're undefeated. You're still standing. You're still here. Better, faster, stronger after every battle, right? You ain't even been defeated yet. But we feel like we have. You know, through all the shit that it is that we've been through, a lot of times we do feel so defeated. But you're not. Not really. Because you're still here to tell the tale. Right? Alright, Spirit. Oh, boo-boo. I don't agree with you using that as me to feel bad for you to do a reading, love. That's not good. I am too. I am too, sweetheart. There's other people that have been too. They don't use that as a way to make payment. That's not good energy. All right, Spirit. Tell me about the 5 of Swords. Best and highest messages. I'm one of the 6 people, or is there something else I need to do? Did you send in payment? It's Cash App, Venmo, PayPal at Lady Leo Spiritual. It's 11 for a mini, 22 for career, 33 for love, 44 for extended. Does that make sense? All right. Best and highest messages here. Tell me about this Five of Swords in the current energy. I'm giving a message right now, and this is help. You're not defeated. You're still standing, boo-boo. You've overcome everything that's ever been done to you. No matter how terrible it was, you've survived. You know? I didn't completely call it out. I could go bitch mode. I don't want to. All right, Spirit. Best and highest messages here. Tell me about the Five of Swords. There's lots of other readers that are doing free readings, sweetheart, if you want to go check them out. The Ace of Cups. We're getting out of our head and back into our heart. Okay? This is where we're learning to trust God, Source, Universe, whatever that looks like for you again. That it's okay to come from a place of peace, to find that peace, to protect that peace. Okay, this is that heart healing happening here. All right, tell me about the Ace of Cups. Tell me about the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Swords. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So not only is this new beginnings and emotional fulfillment, whether that's new relationships, relationship with self, right? Getting back into this heart space, right? Because that's where manifestation happens, in the heart space, right? The heart chakra. We have the Ace of Swords. So clarity, a victory. It's a yes, a green light, go. Epiphany's going off here. Divine clarity. So some of you may be getting lots of downloads. That was with the post I just posted before I went live. I talked about crown chakra upgrades here, where you're getting reconnected to, you know, higher self, to your spirit team, to your guides, God, Source, Universe, whatever label you want to put on it. All right, Spirit. Current energy. Give me one more. Best and highest messages here. All right, Spirit. Hey, 10.3K likes is all of them, like back to you times 10. The Two of Pentacles, getting priorities in order. Okay, Sean. I can't tell through text, you know. Sometimes when I'm reading stuff, I get a lot of people come in here with a lot of shiesty stuff. So, you know, anyway, let me stay focused on this reading. We've got Two of Pentacles here. So this is where we're getting our priorities in order, right? This is where we've been distracted from things that aren't serving us for our most living and highest good. You know, we're getting Mercury retrograde right now, the time this is being recorded. If you're watching me live, you're watching the replay on YouTube, you know, this is where things come back so we can, you know, take a second look at it. Is this still in alignment? Do I have room for this now? Is this draining my energy? Is this really what I want? Is this working out, you know? And for some of you, this can be silly things, or it may seem silly. Right? This is what, maybe you've been at the corner at the B-dubs every day this week, you know? Maybe you've been having your chicken wings and your beer. Yeah. You know? Too much. Instead of studying or focused on your healing or your ascension or things that are for your most loving and highest good, right? It's okay to do that every now and again, you know? But is it really necessary for you to be doing that every day this week? When you're trying to go for a promotion, or you're going to school, you're trying to learn you something, you're trying to better yourself, you know. And it could be because of this peer pressure. You know, you got these people over here like telling you that you think that you're too much, or you're doing too much, or you know, you think you're better than us because you won't come out and visit, you know. For others of you, it's time for you to get out. It's been way too long before you allowed yourself to have a little bit of fun. You know, and sometimes that can help us switch our way of thinking. It can actually shift if you feel stuck and stagnant, sometimes it's good to get out. It's good to come out of isolation. It's good to celebrate something. Find something to celebrate. Now, Mercury retrograde isn't necessarily bad. It's not negative or positive, really. It's about revisiting certain situations or certain decisions that were made. You know, it doesn't always have to be bad. It just seems like it's bad. A lot of times it's people coming back from the past, people that we cut cords with, you know, people that we were done with, and that they're trying to come back around to see if they can start another cycle. You know, sometimes it's really karmic. So are we going to give it another go? Are we going to give this, is this really what it is that I wanted to do? Sometimes it could be a really great thing. You know, if things were worked out and something, situation, a person, whatever, comes back and we take a second glance at it, we're realigning, refocused on something. It's like, you know what, actually that at this point in time, this fits here. Are they spread it around like fear? Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily commit to signing documents if you can, you know, with Mercury retrograde, I wouldn't necessarily commit to signing documents or contracts or, you know, traveling right now. Yeah, because it's Mercury energy. All right, so Mercury is ruling things like communication, technology, our transportation, movement. So you see lots of things happening with appliances. You know, there's a lot of like outages happening, or softwares that crash. Things with like signing certain documents. Like if you were to go sign your name on a contract, it may be it may fall through. There's issues with it in the weeks to come. You know, so it's not necessarily that it's like bad or that you should fear it. It's just the advice that, you know, during Mercury retrograde, things are a little bit wonky. Things, communications just off. Movements are just, you know, it's weird. So, yeah. Thank y'all. Thank you. I'm taking a chance and traveling upstairs to get my cat. Be careful not to trip. Count your steps. Make sure you're picking your foot up all the way before you place it on the step, okay? All right, Spirit, best and highest messages. What global internet crashes will people find peace and love? If there was a whole global internet crash, there would be utter panic and chaos across. Think about that. If those systems, if there was a blackout, how are we... First off, you got the stuff going on with finances that's all funkin' wonky, right? How are we supposed to make payment? Do you know how much looting would be going on? We'd be like living in freaking Fortnite. Be on the lookout for that, by the way. I don't know, should I just live here? Do your own research. But I'm just saying. Think about it. There was a global-wide blackout, or a crash, an internet crash, or a major financial institution. People would lose their minds on a whole nother level. Back to this reading, though. Best and highest messages. Okay, Spirit. Sorry, y'all. You're asking a lot of really good questions. What's the energy coming towards the collective? Energy coming towards the collective. Oh, my. 9 of Cups. 5 of Wands. And the 7 of Pentacles. So here's this emotional fulfillment showing up here again. A wish fulfillment. Okay, this is where your cup runneth over. You're happy, you're joyous, you're prosperous, you're getting a lot of fulfillment out of the things that is you're pouring into, right? But there's conflict, okay? So there could be an energy, a person. This could be the other aspect of yourself. Excuse me, confirmation. Where it's feeling really, it's conflicting this energy. It's very combative. Here's, oh, excuse me, again. More confirmation. This is where that... Venus squares Pluto energy is. Okay, right? I said it was about 2 weeks in June. There's something here that the first couple of weeks here in November that it is that we're revisiting something, right? Now, what was the transit? What was that transit in June? I think it was Taurus. Taurus was in Pluto. I think it was Taurus was in Pluto. Taurus was in, no, Venus is in Scorpio is what it is. Okay, anyway. It's conflicting, having something to do with being grounded, being more practical. It's the things that it is that we enjoy, the pleasures out of life here, right? That's exactly what this is. This is what it brings a lot of pleasure to us, a lot of fulfillment. We enjoy it. It's a wish fulfillment, all right? But there's something conflicting this here. It may even be another person that's bringing a competition to you. I try not to make this whole stream about that, this reading about that. But you know, when you're on the ascension journey, you're on the up and up, right? New levels, new devils, right? We're currently going through this ascension. And when you rise, when you're having level ups and these upgrades, best believe you got these people from the past, energies from the past, versions of yourself from the past that seem to like try to drag you back into the old way of being. You know, remember to focus on what it is that you've been building. Focus on that garden as you've been working on trying to uproot all those icky toxins so that your stuff can grow. The things that you want to grow. The things that you want to manifest, to bring about. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. What is... Yeah, it was Venus transit in Taurus, right? But Venus is... Taurus is ruled by Venus, you know? So that's a very beautiful... But it was squaring a placement in Pluto. Or just black, wait a minute, something about black magic. Could you please explain me something? Why does reading require an energy exchange so I can then bring things in alignment? Well, because we're two separate energies. So we have to exchange energy and be in harmony, in balance with each other. You know, one's masculine, the other one's feminine. So if I'm taking action and I'm giving, you know, and you're taking, then I'm the masculine and you're the feminine. Does that make sense? So everything's about balance in that everything has masculine and feminine energy. Everything has positive and negative masculine and feminine energy. Does that make sense? Hiya, how you doing? Welcome. Hi, Chinito. Wild Horses. Hi, Sid. Richard, thanks for all the love. Hey! Thank you, Big Hunk, for the galaxy. I said all the love like back to you, Thompson. Thank you for that love. Hi, Francis. I got problems with Karmic wanting me to take time to chat. Yeah, y'all, yeah, that's coming in really heavy. People from the past, you know. People from the past that... I was just talking to somebody. I did a reading for them, I think last live stream. But basically what happens is these people you've cut cords with, you broke up with, you've left behind, whether it's romantic, a family member, a co-worker, an ex-friend, acquaintance, whoever the fuck it is. You know, they come back around just to see if they got it like that. They want to know if you're going to give in. You know, it's like a test. And if you fail the test... per se, you know, you're just doing the cycle all over again. You got to go from the start. You got to go through the motions until you get, you know, it's like you're having to take the class over before you can take the test again at the end, you know. So sometimes it's just a karmic test. Have you healed from this? Have you truly let it go? Have you truly moved on from this? Some of us, and most of the time, it's a no, you know. Hi, Shadow Ukraine. How you doing, sweetheart? Oh, Guy, Leo. Are you a Leo? Welcome, Leo. Gang, gang. We got chosen, our royalty in the, VIP in the chat. One of them, all of them, whatever. Y'all know what it is I'm saying. All right, Spirit. What's influencing this energy? Y'all are asking a lot of really great questions, by the way. Scorpio. Hey, we got Scorpio in the chat. Scorpio, gang, gang. Happy birthday, Scorpios. We've got the Wheel of Fortune, the Six of Swords, and it's what is influencing the energy? Because you took a risk, right? Where focus goes, energy flows. This is like putting all the chips on the table, you know? Believing in it. Knowing that you're going to have it, or knowing something like you know the sun's coming up tomorrow. This is beautiful. And look, she's even wearing the dice here. You know, she took a risk on self, took a risk on what it is she truly desired. And it's bringing a balance. Like, look at her, like, literally, and see the light, the dark here? So she's got light coming out of this side. Like, a lot about this duality and this balance, these risks that it is that you're taking. Okay? And it's helping you move into calmer waters. It's helping you move into calmer seas where it's not so choppy and crazy. God, source, universe, whatever that looks like for you. Okay? Cloaked in protection with that red cloak. Here's your angels, ancestors, and spirit guides surrounding you. You're securing the perimeter into a more state of peace, okay? And it's because you're letting go of hardships, of the past, of the pain, of having to keep yourself stuck and reliving certain traumas over and over and over again. You know, this is finally letting it go and moving on from it. Okay, that's what's bringing you these spiritual jackpots. Things actually working out in your favor, you know. And have you ever gotten stuck in a way, or you like just like you're having a rough day, or maybe you're just having a rough fucking season, you know, and you're going through this rough season, and it's like now you start to expect things just to be shitty, you know? Does that make sense? Kind of like when I was doing I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to sign up for PTO, y'all. It's one of the worst ideas I ever had. It wasn't nothing but a freaking mess. But anyway, I go up to the school and I start getting ready to do what it is that I needed to do, and there's always something that went wrong. Always. And I got to where I expected it, you know, and it could have been, maybe I could have shifted out of that season, that cycle earlier, had I been more consciously aware of what was going on, you know. But it got to the point where I already knew something was, I could have been manifesting it, you know. Start expecting things to be positive, right? Who was it? Conor McGregor, is that his name? Who is it? MMA fighter? Anyway, he talks a lot about law of attraction and manifestation, and he was talking about how he got started. He'd start visualizing the parking space at the first parking space in the parking lot of the row, you know. He started expecting that a parking space up at the front of the row was going to be available just for him. It had his name on it. He saw himself pulling into this parking space, and that's how he got started. You know, you could start with just little things. Go ahead and start expecting something to work in your favor, right? People can think that's really risque. Some people could think that that's arrogant. We're not being arrogant. We're going to be confident. We understand there's a possibility that it doesn't happen, but we give ourselves permission to at least have the opportunity to get there, right? Soulful intent. Yes, I agree with that. My big three are Pisces, Sun, Virgo, Moon, and Cancer rising. Yeah, y'all, what are y'all's big three? Just so natural in how you flow with the universe. Francis says, I'm just over it all. I'm just done. I'm tired. Boo-boo, you need to have a spiritual recharge. You know, you're in spiritual recovery right now. I enjoy the energy and thoughts often. Thank you for being here, sweetheart. Expectations are definitely scary. Yes, they can be. They can be. Is that turquoise pendant? Yes, turquoise. All right, Spirit. You're Aquarian? Hey, Aquarian gang in the chat. All right, Spirit. Best and highest messages here. What's the external conflict? What's the external conflict of the energy for this 1111 portal? 3535. There's 35 in the chat. 35 on my battery. That's 888. 88. Abundance. Infinite abundance. Infinite possibilities. We got to get that. Think about the infinity symbol, right? 88. It's got to be harmonious and in balance. All right, Spirit. What's the external conflicts? Oh, yeah. I've got cats meowing in the background. They're getting stirred up. They're excited. You can't tell. 8 of Swords. The death and rebirth and Knight of Wands. Yeah, we can get stuck in our head. Stuck in illusions. Stuck in the headspace. Paralysis by analysis. Where we just overthink whatever it is to the point where we just don't even move it off. Like, we're stuck. We're tied up. Gotta get... There's a lot of messages about just getting out of your head. Sometimes we can be our own worst enemy. You know? So it's important for us to allow space for these old versions of ourselves to be left behind. You know, we're not clinging... Where's that card at? The Tower. With the... Yeah. You know? We're not clinging on to all this decay. This stuff that's not working for us anymore. Just because it's familiar. You know? It's time to let it crumble and fall away. It's okay to do that. You know? Here's that Scorpio energy again. Knight of Wands. And that's what's affecting us actually being this free-spirited person, this soul that it is that we are, that you are. You know? You dance to the beat of your own drum, and that's okay. That you're unique, you're rare, you're different, and that's the way it's meant to be. You're like this Mustang in the background here. You were meant to run free. You weren't meant to be caged in, boxed in, broken, spirit broken, right? You dance to the beat of your own drum. And it's okay for you to fearlessly take action towards what it is that you truly desire. Whatever that looks like for you. If it's in alignment with your most loving and highest good, per se. You want to see the cat? There's 11 of them. Which one? We've got like a dang cat sanctuary going on over here. All of them strays, except for one that was a rescue from the shelter. The rest of them they didn't have mommies and they needed a mommy. I'm at max capacity. I can't take no more cats in though. I'm already the crazy cat lady at the top of the hill as it is. Best of the highest messages, Spirit. What's the strengths? What's helping the collective move through these energies? What's the collective strengths during this time, Spirit? Unique energy. Which are you in? I'm unique, all right. That's for sure. On a whole nother level. Hi, organically, honey. How you doing, sweetheart? We've got the Six of Pentacles, the Six of Wands, and the Empress. What's your strength? You're learning about energy exchange, right? And I'm telling you, with this 1111 portal, it's on a whole nother level. All the other things that's going on, all the things that you've learned up until this point, right? You're learning about that equal give and take, about not resisting things, about that over needing to control, overthinking the situation is actually blocking your blessings, right? Six of Wands. Somebody's being recognized. Here's a win. Getting a lot of attention, right? Oh yeah, kind of like I'm hearing something about black obsidian for some reason, you know, but just the color black in general, it attracts energy. So something about the energy that it is that you're in, you're attracting a lot of energy to you by being in this balanced state. That's actually what a black obsidian does. It can balance, it neutralizes the energy, you know, it can even transmute, or it absorbs negative energy, can literally transmute positive energy back out. But I don't know why this black obsidian is coming to me, but either way, you're having this attention or these wins. Somebody's getting a promotion. Someone's getting recognized for something here, you know, and y'all, for those of you that are loners, for those of you that are hermits and you ain't seen the light of day in about the last 6 years, okay, this is your spirit team. These are your angels, your ancestors, and spirit guides, okay? These are all the little mooshoos in the temple that are praising you, okay? Collective, 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 you know. Your name is being sang and praised in the spirit realm. Then we have the Empress, okay? This is about what it is that you're birthing out into the world, right? You're having this death and rebirth. You know, you're ending these cycles, but you're also coming into the new version of yourself, a higher version of yourself, male or female. But it's about what it is that you're putting out, this new wave, something about a new wave into the world. There is a need to protect your energy, okay? Y'all, I talk a lot about this in my soul alignment, 10 steps to soul alignment. It's for subscribers only, super fans on TikTok. It's already been posted, it's already available for you, the soul alignment activation, 10 steps to help guide you into your soul alignment. But I talked a lot about this energy here, about protecting your energy, about getting back into your own source, tapping into God, source, universe, whatever that looks like for you. Okay, that little light right there. Solar plexus energy. Being confident. All right. What's the overall spiritual advice? You know what? Actually, we're going to go to a whole nother deck. Let's go here. We're going to use this gateway activations. It's real starseedy. So take it as it resonates, y'all. Okay, just a perspective. If you don't get with it, maybe you're not really into the starseed thing. Okay, that's all right. So just think of it as a perspective. Maybe there's a message in it for you. Hi, y'all. How you doing? Welcome. Hi, Chandra. Moana. You're from New Zealand? Is that what you're saying? Whatever reading you want to do with me, I'll accept and welcome it. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. It's about to be 3 years on Christmas since my ex-husband left. I've been hiding since for sure. Oh my gosh! On Christmas? On Christmas? I'm interested in your readings that you do. What kind of readings? I do lots of different types of readings. Hi, Julie. Hi, Folivera. How you doing? I did not say that right. I'm sorry, I just murdered your name. Thank you for the heart. How you doing, Venerated Inquisition? Hey, y'all, look at all the VIP in the chat. What's going on, Royal Star fam? Hi, Totally Cullen. Wild Horses. Thank you for the badge. Evening, ma'am. How you doing, boo-boo? How you doing? Welcome. Thank you for being here. You're going to make my southern accent come out. Hi, Proven by Actions. All right. So hi, Jay. How you doing? Welcome, Amy. Welcome. All right, Spirit. Best and highest messages here. What do we need to know? What do we need to see? What do we need to hear? If you're watching the replay on YouTube, thank you for being here. I know I used to post just for YouTube, so I didn't have like the live chat going on. And so if you're still here, thanks for being here. You just have to remember that I'm live and I like to talk to my chat. I like to acknowledge who's here and who's talking to me. Karmic bond clearing, energetic clearing, rewrite your story, live your truth. Yeah, we talked about that at the first part of this reading. More confirmation there. We're clearing these karmic cycles, this karmic energy that it is that sometimes we feel bound to. You know, we're cutting cords with those things. We're having this energetic clearing so that you can rewrite your own story, right? A lot of us are taking the pen back, right? We're not letting other people narrate who it is we are, what it is we're about, where it is that we're going, what our values are. You know, y'all see it happening here all the time. People pop in here and they say, you know, you need to find Jesus. I'm like, boo-boo, Jesus is my main homie. What are you talking about? You know? Or I've been condemned to hell I don't know how many times. It's like, you don't even know me. God, Source, Universe, that knows my heart. Okay? I know that my intentions are pure. Don't get it twisted. Akashic records, clearing old stories, releasing past lives, and freedom. There's a lot of this energetic clearing happening. That's beautiful. So Akashic records, this is about being connected to the all that ever was and the all that ever will be. So some of y'all may be actually, if you haven't yet, because I know some of you have, I've had conversations with y'all about tapping into the Akashic records, past, present, future, the record of everything. Some of y'all may be learning how to do that. Maybe you're actually finally experiencing that for the first time. Okay, y'all, get grounded. Stay grounded when you're doing that, because that can be really trippy when we start doing those sorts of things. Akashic Stargate, aligned with purpose, crossroads, no wrong path. Yeah. In the end, whatever it is that you intend to do, whatever it is that you set your heart on, you know, all paths lead home. And all of it is, look at these little gateways, like these little doorways, these portals here. Who do you want to be? What does that look like for you? What resonates with you? Right? Halls of I can never say this. Halls of Amenti initiation. Secrets revealed, treasures uncovered, and initiations. So a lot of these initiations going on. Oh, I'm seeing like a lot of geometry here too. Weird, y'all. I'm seeing a map of like ley lines. That's a pyramid. I'll get some weird download of something that doesn't, I don't even know if that correlates with this whole 1111 port. I mean, it could. There's something about the physical spot that you're in, like right, maybe not right now. It could be right now. There's something about ley lines, latitude, longitude, something about latitude, longitude. What the hell am I tapping into, y'all? This is not where this is supposed to go. Anunnaki, light codes, energetic shift, new information, end of a, lots of this end of a cycle, ending of a cycle. Anunnaki. There's something to do with some sort of line between like the pyramids of Giza, okay, and the four corners here in the States. What the hell is this? I need to write this down. I'm going to have to do some sort of something. We're going to have to do like a sidebar or something. Ley lines, something to do with the pyramids. What the hell? Latitude, longitude. And the four corners here in the United States. it's like I'm being shown like 2 different times, but it's like the Anunnaki, but it also has something to do with like the Hopi. Okay, I'm seeing a bunch of ants. Like ant hills. Ant people? Y'all, I don't know where the hell this is going. Now I'm starting to see tunnels, and now I'm starting to see stuff like from it's coming in like really, really quick. Something about the Matrix, like the tunnels in the Matrix, like the movie. Like, you know, like an anthill in a colony, like they you ever had an ant farm before? And you could watch like the little ants like make tunnels down into the, I don't know what this is about. Let me clear the energy real quick, y'all. I'll see if I can't tap back into this. What time is it? 3:11 on 11/11. I'll see if I can't get whatever that is about, because that's way off topic, way off. I don't know. It's called a spiral of alignment from Queen Vector. I always say that people look like ants. Grand Canyon is hidden tunnel systems they speak of. Is it really? Hold on, I gotta screenshot some of the stuff that y'all are saying, because I'm gonna have to like focus intent on it. Hi Textin, hi Philippa Paz, hi Hugo. How's it going, y'all? Anunnaki will not keep up in today, trust me. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, Moana. I appreciate that. Hi, Andrita. Use binary and LL. You like this? Heard something about your alignment? Interesting. My body said 4 ley lines covered near me in Utah. Weird. Yo, I don't know what the hell I'm tapping into. I need to get out of my house. It's really holding me back. You should get out of your house. Yo, I had to do that. Thanks for the follows, y'all. I appreciate that. Thank y'all for being here. Okay. Like, mine's cosmic. Sounds so close to what I'm going through. Is it really? Hold on. Let me cleanse this energy real quick. I don't know what the hell we tapped into. Something about underground tunnels. I heard something about Tesla. I don't know what the hell that's about. It's like time travel. This is getting kind of sci-fi. It's going a little bit more on the like alien direction, and I'm trying to stay here on alignments and therapy and healing and kind of a lot of weird stuff going on. Shit, okay, can we quantum leaping for real? We're going all over the place. Going back through time, back to the future. We got Michael J. Fox in here. What the hell? Cleanse your energy. Thank you, Spirit. Cleanse my energy. Look at my Wanda. We hopping all over the place. We going on a journey, aren't we? I mean, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. The veil is thin at 11:11. Shit, y'all. I wasn't expecting all this stuff. Follow it. You're spot on. I gotta at least finish the reading that I was on. Okay, I mean, we're supposed to be focused on soul alignment, right? I posted about it. I promoted it. That's what we're supposed to be here for. Spirit's like, wrap it up, Leo. We got some other things that we need to talk about. I still got personal readings to do too, y'all. We got people in line waiting. Protect your energy. Protect my energy, just for good measure. Okay, y'all. Maybe it's this deck. This is Gateway Activations deck. I don't have the box up here. It might be this deck. It was when this one came out. It was the Anunnaki light codes, energetic shift, new information, innovative. When that card came out, it's like that even almost kind of looks like an ant in a way, don't it? Y'all see what I see? Like, I know that's not what it is, but kind of like, you know, at first glance, it's kind of like an ant with like the little antennas coming out right there. Almost, if you take that off too, it's very like, I don't know, looks like what you would think of, or if you ask somebody to draw an alien, that's what they would draw. It's kind of giving me some Aztec vibes. I mean, yeah, I can see like some like geometry. I can kind of see somewhere I can get like Native American, like maybe some hoppy stuff going on. Even like Aztec though, like just like the geometry, like you know, like a necklace or like Quetzalcoatl. Do you know what I'm talking about? They speak of people. Depends on arc. It's me and Chris gonna be together. Do you want to get in line for a reading, Jesse? This was your first deck? Stardust alignment. I like that. I like that a lot. How you doing? Leveling in my solo. Tell them to get in line. Mesopotamia and jaded sleeping. For real. I mean, we all over the place. Okay, anyway. All right, Spirit. Where are we going? Let's go ahead and start wrapping this up, y'all. Let me get messages from Bess and I, especially here. Keepers of the light. What's the keepers of the light? What do we need to know? What do we need to see? What do we need to hear? All right, Spirit. Mary Magdalene, teacher awakens. You have something important to share. Follow the inner call. Don't let anything stop you. Yeah. If you feel like you have a message to share, you need to share your voice. It's time for you to speak up. Maybe you need some throat chakra blockages to be removed. That may be a message for you. Okay. You have something important to share. Follow the inner call. Don't let anything stop you. A lot of y'all are like mastering yourselves, or you're mastering something. It's like where the student becomes the mentor. It's like you're becoming the teacher. You're the one that has the knowledge, that has the insight, the experience for something. Diana, focused intention. Think about what you desire. Set your sights high and expect the best possible outcome. So look, yeah, this is where you're aiming for it, right? You're expecting to hit the target, especially when we're working on these energies of soul alignment, of manifestation, believing. Speak with an open mind always. Kathumi, cloak of wisdom. You already know the answers you seek. Trust what you know. A lot about trust what you know. Trust in the universe. Trust in yourself. Something about your confidence. Like, be confident. You know, like, you know the answer to a question in class in grade school, you know, but you never did raise your hand just in case you may, on the off chance, be wrong. Don't do that. Don't do that no more. I used to do that all the time, y'all. And then somebody else would answer, and I'm like, dang it, I knew the answer. I could have answered it. I had the correct information. I was right. You know, don't second guess yourself. Don't feed that insecurity. So the fuck what if you're wrong? You're not going to shrivel up like a raisin. You know? You just think that you're going to shrivel up like a raisin. You're not really going to shrivel up like a raisin. You already know the answers you seek. Trust what you know. Trust yourself. Ooh, here's this indigenous Native American energy coming out. White eagle, ancestor spirit. Connect to your lineage. A family wound or pattern can be healed now. We talked a lot about that, right? These are a lot of things that we're letting go of. These patterns that have been passed down. These ways that really aren't for our most living and highest good. Saint Germain, a lot about karma releasing. Move beyond drama. Create your own path and make We're making room for good energy. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Right? We're clearing out all this ish. People, places, and things that are not for our most loving and highest good. And we're making room for the things that are. Charity, prayer, and contemplation. Connect with heaven, ask, and you shall receive. It's like God's source universe is like giving you a catalog. You're just telling, you know, this is what I want. I like this and this and this. Thank you, Spirit, for already giving it to me. Thank you for already giving it to me. Yeah, I said that right. Give me one more from this deck. And Sanat Kamara, light activation. Shine your light. Your internal guidance is coming through loud and clear. Yes, that's a big one. That's a good one. Dang, Big Hunk just reached level 10. Thank you for that. Saw that love light back to you times 10. Thank you for reposting. Saw that love light back to you times 10. Thank y'all for being here. Thanks for the love and support. Thanks for the sparks. Hi, Brandy Price. How you doing, Brandy? All right, and then Hilarion, divine healing is at the bottom. Honor your sensitivity, retreat to recharge, and heal your light can support others. Yeah, see, your light can support others. Where's the ancestor deck? By the way, if y'all are looking for a soul alignment, soul purpose alignment guided steps, that's for subscribers only, super fans only on TikTok. If you join, become a super fan, that's already been posted. It's already available for you. It's only like 7 minutes long, y'all. It's also infused with Reiki energy, so it's very healing. It can't hurt you in any type of way. It only supports, you know, you doing better, being better, but that's not something that you want. That's all right. That's why I did it for members. Those that want access to it can have it. Okay. Angels and ancestor messages. Era, surround yourself with protective energy. Yes, we're learning a lot about protecting our energy. Who's allowed in and who needs to be kicked out. She-wolf, unleash the wild within. Yeah, getting in touch with some sort of ancestral background, lineage. This could even just be listening more to your instincts, right? Those primal instincts. Guardian angel. How many times has You Are Not Alone come out in this reading? There's a lot about you being supported by, and usually this is like a passed over loved one here. But heavy on the ancestral energy. You could be seeing lots of like white feathers, dimes, or pennies, coins. The smell of bergamot? What is that about? I don't think that's going to resonate for everybody, but something about bergamot. Sun, enjoy success and happiness. That's a lot of the sun energies come out. Lots of abundance, joy, success, prosperity, being in your light, shining your light. Seer, see beyond the current situation. A lot of this insight, these crown chakra upgrades happening, this connection to spirit, God, source, universe, whatever that looks like for you is really helping you see beyond the current situation. Do we need some sassy affirmations? I think we do. I think we do. Hi, y'all. How you doing? Events Baby, Laura, Tanana, Vanessa. I see you, Ethan. Thank you for still being here. Ethan, hi, Vivian. Philippa Paz. Hi, y'all. How you doing? Welcome. My chat got stuck over here. Bergamot enlivens you. I got bergamot in there. I don't know who that was for. It's like the smell. I don't know if somebody wears like a cologne or a perfume or like a body spray of like, it's got like heavy bergamot in it. I have 6 close angels that have passed in 4. Oh my gosh, deja vu. You've been through it. It's like Akashic. Thank you for all the gifts, Brandy. Maggie, thank you for being here, sweetheart. Septimus, thank y'all for liking the live. 17.2k likes. Hey, I'm sending all that love light back to you times 10. Hi, Sophie. How you doing, Sophie? All right, where are the sassy affirmations? Got me to cuss you out for a second. All right, y'all, this is the part of the reading. You like being called a bitch. Exit out, scroll up, come back later, do whatever you need to do. But this is the Listen Bitch deck, okay? All right, here we go. What do we need to know? What do we need to see? What do we need to hear, Spirit? Give us some tough love. Some of us just need you to sit us the fuck down and tell us how the fuck it is. That's usually me, y'all. Yeah, we're a little hard-headed over here. Right? Sometimes that's what I just need to just sit down and listen to what I have to say, Leo. This is how it is. All right, Spirit. Listen, bitch. Everything you need to get it done is already inside of you. That's right. You already have everything that it is that you need to get it done. I see you laughing at me, Philip Papas. Everything that you need to get it done is already inside of you. Your mom passed away last year. You haven't seen family since, but you're going to see them Saturday. I'd be nervous too, Brandy. I would too. Wait, what would you call me in your deck? I don't know. I don't have enough insight or read your energy well enough to put a name to it yet. But I'll tell you what. No, I'll tell. That's neither here nor there. Stay focused, Leo. Listen, bitch. You can either worry or believe in yourself. Guess which one feels better. Yeah, we can get either caught up in that stress and be paralysis by analysis and worry warts. Get caught up in that shit. Or you can believe in yourself and just go for it and see what happens. Both of them can be painful. One of them may actually end up being pleasurable. Listen, bitch, your ending is still unwritten. It's never too late to create a life you love. That was one of the first messages that we talked about. Right? We're taking our pens back. We're writing our own fucking stories. Some of us are rewriting our stories. Some of us are getting out of this book that we've been in. Right? It's not a new chapter. This is a whole new fucking book. Some of us, it's not even the book. It's a series. Like, scrap the old one. It's time for a whole new series. Maybe it's a spin-off, maybe it's not. Maybe it's a whole new fucking concept. Who knows? You're the author. You get to decide. Listen, bitch, your wildest dreams deserve a chance. That is so true. Your wildest dreams do deserve a chance. Why not you? You know? Don't think about it. You got people like Bill Gates who's like... Elon Musk. Elon Musk didn't come from like a really wealthy family. You know? Some of these people that are in these high positions, some of them did. Okay, stay focused, Leo. Yo, I'm getting all up into this Tesla stuff and who was the investigator for Tesla. And how is the book literally, it's supposed to be a fictional book written about time travel. Y'all know what book I'm talking about? Hi, Yvonne. How you doing, love? Listen, bitch. Even flowers go through dirt and shit. Keep blooming, baby. Yep. And when life is throwing shit on your ass, okay? And other people have talked shit about you and they want to throw dirt on your name, right? You're a seed and you've been planted. You were not buried. You were planted and you're going to grow anyway. You're going to be successful anyway. It was just fuel to your fire. Listen, bitch, don't take anyone's shit. You are to be respected always. That's right. If they cannot treat you with love, respect, and kindness, they can't afford access into your energy. Right? They don't get to get in the VIP section. They better come correct or they got to get going. Listen, bitch, you are in control. You are in control. You are in control. You're already in control. And you're in more control when you release the need to control. That's how bullies end up being created. Right? People that bully other people, they're actually coming from a place of fear. They feel like they don't have any control, so they project outwards that they do. Listen, bitch, your opinions aren't tattoos. You can change them anytime. Maybe you have changed your opinion on some things, you know. You're in this new way of being. You've evolved a lot. You're releasing the old versions of yourself. It's okay to change your opinions about what this is or that is, or about what this person's doing to you and what that person's saying or how this makes you feel. Listen, bitch, you can recover from anything. Your resilience is unmatched. That is so true. Okay? You can run circles around a lot of these people on your worst day. You got this person over here complaining. And you're looking at them like, I went through all that shit like by the time I was in kindergarten. What you talk about? You know? Especially you really funny motherfuckers. You really funny motherfuckers. You ain't funny, you were traumatized. It's not a sense of humor, it's a defense mechanism. Y'all ever heard that before? You gotta laugh to keep from crying, so you make jokes about it, you know. I see you. I know you're in here. 3-3 on the clock. Listen, bitch. Don't let any motherfucker disturb your peace. And that's a big one. I know. See you laughing at me. Don't let any motherfucker disturb your peace. That's a big one. We're protecting our peace in this cycle going forward. You come in here with the chaos. If you come in here to muck shit up for me. If you come in here to block my motherfucking blessings. It's a no-go, Ghost Rider. You can't be here. Access denied. You ain't got the key code. Okay, the little badge don't work. Denied. Try again later. Alright, y'all. I hope that you found a message that resonates with you. Thank you so much for popping in and hanging out with me. If you caught the live, if you're watching the replay, thank you so much for watching. Y'all be sure to comment what your zodiac sign is so I know that you were here, what houses you're representing. I've been trying to do that in all my posts and all my live streams so I know, what energies are in here the most, what zodiacs, what placements. That way, when I go to do my zodiac placements, I'm going to start with the ones that show the most love, that I know that I'm picking up on their energy the most, So that could help me out if you let me know what your zodiac is, okay? Thank y'all so much. By the way, if you want to get in line for personal reading, it's Cash App, Venmo, PayPal at Lady Leo Spiritual. It's $11 for a mini, $22 for career, $33 for love, $44 for extended. I've got Bethany for a mini, Jennifer for a mini, Trisha for a mini, Ethan for a mini. I saw where Nisha sent in for a love reading, Des sent in for an extended reading. I'm going to have to check payments and update the list for that. If you're looking for private services, I still have a sale going on my website, ladyleospiritual.com. I think it's like a 30% off right now. If y'all want to check that out. I've got lots of different types of private readings on there. Let's see. Those last anywhere from like 45 minutes to an hour. Let's see. I've got Reiki healing sessions on there. So if you are part of the super fans and you like the 10 steps to guided meditations, we talk a lot about that in Reiki sessions. So, it can be more aligned with like a coaching session. But it's just basically what it means is all of it's infused with Holy Fire Reiki. So that, but if you want like a coaching session or something like that, you can find those at ladyleospiritual.com. I've got cord cuttings on there. I've got hex and curse removals for those of you that 333 on the clock. Those of you that quadruple threes. Those of you that feel like maybe you're going through some sort of heavy spiritual warfare, you feel like maybe a hex or curse has been placed on you, if you feel like you got some, like, you're really low vibrational energies that seem to be attached to you, right? That's what that does. Okay, what else? I got natal charts on there, all different types of that kind of stuff, y'all. So if y'all want to check that out, ladyleospiritual.com. Okay? All right, y'all. I'll see y'all in a few minutes when we get started on these personal readings. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is that you're tuning in from. I hope that you have an amazing rest of your day if you're here this morning. Happy 11/11, y'all. Don't forget that you're getting in alignment with your soul purpose and you're hitting major breakthroughs this one. This one's a big one. I love you, I love you, I love you, Starseeds. Love and light.